All right. First of all, I'd just like to know, why did you decide to get the coaching?
Well, I've been climbing really fast, and my win rate's really high,
Hmm.
but I'm not winning enough games to climb. And also, um, like I need to improve my decision making mostly.
Hmm.
Um, and I kind of want help on like how I would go about improving my decision making because I was watching like Augurin lately, and
Yeah.
I kind of play like a lot more passively than most decos, I think,
Hmm.
and just play for farming too much. And I don't really
That's
like go
interesting because
down.
yeah, like your farm is not that high that it would be something that I would assume from your OPGG that you play for farming too much.
Oh,
Like, no
well,
offense, right? But
you
it's
know, it's
just,
fair. It's
I mean,
like
it's something we will see, of course. But
okay, just
yeah,
because like the latest game that I played, I just like I didn't gank at all. I was farming and I got like three drags and two.
and you can win
So
games like that as
like
well.
yeah,
It's like it's different, right? Every game will be different, of course. Like generally, I think the most fun you will, of course, have just being a really active, aggressive Echo generally, and
mm,
but that might not always be the best thing you can do in every game. Like in some games, just getting the objectives and that kind of stuff might be the optimal choice. So
right.
like you can never make any statements where it's like that always apply to the situation. Like there's so many variables every single time. In some games, you're just better off playing more passively, getting the objectives and winning the games through that. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk about more of this in the OPGG and League of Graphs, because like it's definitely something that is like in your stats where you are probably a bit too passive. Yeah. What's your goal this season then, like rank wise? I mean, you have been climbing, right? It's not like you're hard stuck just because you've been in the same elo for like 2 weeks or whatever.
I kind of want to hit diamond,
Hmm.
but I think if I hit diamond, I can climb as far as I want.
Okay, I guess. I mean, what do you think your biggest weakness is then at the moment, other than maybe being too passive?
Um, Probably tracking enemy jungler because this isn't really my role. I don't
Hmm.
have like as much experience into like specific matchups. Like if I'm playing against someone like a full clear jungler like Lilia, it's really simple for me to track. But like I don't know specific interactions between champs. Like for example, I've been invaded like multiple times by Shaco
Hmm.
and still haven't learned my lesson, I guess.
Really, but like, how did they pull it off? Because most of the time, like, not even most of the time, I think literally the last 10 times I got invaded by a Shaco, they probably just died. Like,
Um, I think it's just me dying to the I died initially to his burst, to his like Hail of Blades burst, like
okay.
instantly. But it only happens early.
Hmm. But
But
because you just don't respect him, you don't know what Shaco does, or
I don't I don't know. He just invades me. I don't really know.
okay. I
Um
mean, that's also a very specific thing, right? Like that's not the most important stuff. I guess generally the biggest tip against invading I can give you is to just like stay calm. Like stay
yeah.
calm, use your abilities in a defensive manner most of the time, unless you, of course, like especially. Are you doing the Raptors path?
Uh Not usually.
Yeah, that's also a reason why you get invaded. Like with the Raptors path, it's almost impossible to get invaded. Like no joke. I don't know. The fact that you have different timings makes it like it just makes it so impossible. And whenever you do get invaded, you usually have the Dark Seal advantage, so that's why you can punish them. Then, like, I actually
And
played a
then
game against Shaco specifically, and he invaded me, and I just killed him because he just thought he could invade me at my blue, but I just recalled quickly enough, and then had the Dark Seal and was able to kill him. So it's
that
like,
makes sense.
yeah, like generally you really just need to stay cool.
Okay.
So are there other specific situations you would say you find yourself often struggling in? Or like parts in the game,
Um
let's say like early game, late game, mid game?
hmm.
Any of these
I think
that sticks out maybe?
when I don't have something to farm, I
Hmm.
feel a little bit like
I mean that's where you have the time to do something usually, right?
right.
I mean, sometimes you won't. Sometimes there is nothing to do, but generally there will be an objective. There will be a lane that you can pressure. Maybe sometimes maybe sometimes you just help one of your laners get a good reset or whatever when they don't have a lot of mana, this kind of stuff. But there's almost always something to do. And when there is not, then usually you should have some gold after farming that you can spend as well. So
Right.
yeah, I mean that's generally the best jungle playstyle in my opinion, and I think that's also how Agirin mostly plays. Is how like he just clears his jungle and then he looks for plays, right? A lot of junglers might just clear and then see all the time if there's something to do, and like it's like a two-edged sword. I feel like on the one hand you need to have impact, especially in solo queue, especially in lower elos actually.
Yeah.
So I think one reason why it works for Agirin is because he's playing in pretty high elo, or why it has worked for him. Because I have personally also tried his exact playstyle and it didn't work for me in like low master lobbies because people just like they're too mentally ill to handle it when you don't help them. So I assume it's even worse in Emerald. But also in Emerald people make way more mistakes, like way more obvious mistakes that you're able to punish. So yeah, we'll just see it in game, I guess, most of this stuff. Are there any like common mistakes or bad habits that you've noticed in your gameplay?
I don't really do the R level trick.
Why not?
Because I don't feel confident enough yet to know where it is. So I'm trying.
Is this your first season playing Ekko?
Well, I kind of always not really. Like, I have 300k mastery on him, but I didn't like start playing this game like to climb until like last season.
Okay. I mean, I think at 300k mastery points, I think it's time to just, like, start doing it. Yes, you will fuck it up a bunch of times. And, like, I also only started doing it this season, by the way, but, like, you fuck it up maybe 3 times, and then after that, you got it down, and it's such a big advantage. And, like, yes, every now and then you might fuck it up still, but it's, like, the amount of times, I would say at least, like, an honest estimate is probably, like, at least 80% of the time it actually gives you some really good value in your games. Either just because people don't know that you have ult up and they get baited, or just because you can get like a nice ult that you wouldn't otherwise be able to hit because people just can't see the clone. Okay, are you using any jungle timer app?
No.
Okay, I definitely recommend that as well. I think that's one thing that will instantly boost your average CS, I guess. It just gives you a better understanding, and at the same time you also just... It's one less thing to think about, really. So I guess I would like you to also just download Blitz really quick right now. It really doesn't take a long time. And like it really, like, that's one thing for me. I think last season or the season before is the first time when I hit Master. Like it instantly pushed me from being like a D2 player to reaching Master for the first time. Just like that.
What app do you use?
Yeah, Blitz. Blitz.gg.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also not much, like nothing you need to set up. I think it automatically works. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen really quick and then we can look at your OPGG. Tell me when you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, yeah, as I said, like, the biggest thing that stuck out to me is just, like, your average CS. They should be at least something with a 7 in front. Usually, like, 7.5 to 8 CS is optimal, I would say. Like, it shouldn't be too high, because then you will automatically just, like, not be active enough generally, but... Yeah, like, especially in your wins, you should not have these, like, 5 CS games. Especially in wins, you should always have at least 7 point something. Not always, but, like, most of the time, of course. And then also, I saw you switch your rune setup. Sometimes you go Inspiration, sometimes you go this. What's your, like, why do you do that?
Well, when I take Sorcery, I only take Gathering Storm, Absolute Focus, in certain games that I feel like I'm just going to be farming and playing for late. But if I want to play for early, I usually go Inspiration.
Okay, I think that's the wrong mindset. Like, first of all, I doubt that you actually have such a good read on the game, right? Like, you might think that you have a very good read on the game, but in reality, like, you just genuinely can't, right? Nobody can have this perfect of a read, because especially in your elo, people don't play their champs the way they need to be played or they should be played, right? So, like, all of the matchup knowledge you might have is, like, you can basically ignore that to some extent. Obviously not completely ignore it, but, like, no joke, even in my elo, like, sometimes people just lose hard winning matchups for no reason in a 1v1. It just happens all the time. And, like, you really can't make too many plans. I think a big skill about being good at, like, especially solo queue at least, is to just being able to adapt to all the situations. So I think there is a good reason to just always play with the same rune setup. or like not switch it too much, because if you always play with the same rune setup, you also learn the limits with it, right? And I think the sorcery setup is the best one. I've been having the most success with it again, and especially in the early, it actually helps you more because it gives you, like, percentage-wise, it gives you a lot of AP in the early game. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you feel like you're having better success with the inspiration one, I think it's also a very decent rune setup. But yeah, I mean, also Futures Market got nerfed, right? So
Oh yeah, it doesn't. It feels pretty bad now.
really, I mean, I have actually not played with it once since it got nerfed. But yeah, if it feels bad, then like don't even play with it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess the biggest thing, as I said, is the CS, and that's something that should probably improve automatically a little bit at least, just by installing any jungle timer app, and then of course it's something that I will also make sure to take a big look at, like why your CS is so low in most of your games. Like the big thing is just like your stats are good, right? But they could probably be even better because you will just automatically be so much stronger if you have more farm. And like especially in your elo where others are also usually not farming very well, you'll just be so ahead, you know, and the games will be so much easier. And then I guess your League of Grass, yeah, here's where it shows, right? You're a little bit too passive. You're below average for the average Emerald player, and then like all of these stats are just slightly, they're not problematically below average, but just slightly, right? So it is for sure something that can be improved on. So I guess the big tip I'm generally giving any player, like in like actually in like any elo, to like really learn your champ is just play as aggressive as possible. Yes, you will probably int the first couple of games, but that's the only way you actually learn to really play your champ to your limits, is by playing as aggressive as possible, not giving any fucks, and then you will also get better mechanically. Like there's so many reasons why you should play aggressive. It's also more fun actually. Like there's really no big downside other than you might be losing some games with it. And then yeah, like this is also pretty. It's definitely something that should be a little bit higher, right? This means like almost half the fights you take, you lose. It's definitely not optimal. Like it just shows, right, what you said, right, with the decision making a little bit. But again, like this will automatically improve when you play more aggressively. You learn your limits better. You also become better mechanically. And then it might, like at first it might decrease, but like at least next split or whatever, it should then be able to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually looking fine, I guess. These, like, sometimes when I look at these graphs, they're in the negative or whatever. It's definitely fine that they're at least positive, but they should just be a straight curve, in my opinion. Generally, like how does it say? Yeah. Like an exponential curve, a little bit, basically. Okay. Because Ekko is a very snowbally champ, right? So it means if you manage to get the snowball starting, it should just be more and more and more, and then your champ's just so unfair at some point that this graph should look very exponential. Yeah, I mean, this is fine, I guess, but they could also definitely be better, right? The item purchase times. You can get it to like something within 11. But that's, of course, just very much affected by your farming and this kind of stuff. And also getting kills in the early game for sure allows you to get those items quicker. So for that, it's actually fine, I would even say, for the fact that these stats are kind of low. Okay, this is pretty good that you damage towers. Like that's, for example, a pretty big weakness of mine, or it has been for some time at least. And this is also good that you seem to focus objectives, which is like I think objectives are a very good way to win games in the current meta.
I like steal every single objective that I go for.
Yeah, so Ekko's very good at that. Yeah, 100%. If people don't zone you away or don't pull out the drakes, then it's so easy to steal. Yeah. Ekko is incredibly good at that. Like his passive procs in the late game, especially, they deal like 3k damage, so nobody's outsmiting that.
Insane.
Yeah. I guess this is like one thing I actually started looking at a bit more. I feel like communication, like this is not horrible or anything. Like sometimes I see people, they never ping anything, but for sure communication is something that in your elo is just lacking. Like from most people, and that it automatically makes the games more difficult if the communication is not there. So like just get into the habit of telling your team what you want to do a little bit, right? Like tell that you're on the way to go to an objective, on the way to gank, or this kind of stuff. It will just make all this kind of stuff a bit more successful. I mean, but it seems like you do ping overall. Let's just really quickly see. Yeah, you surrender a little bit more than average, but also this is not Ekko only, and this is also... Yeah, the only reason I look at this is just to always tell you, I think Ekko is a champ where you really shouldn't surrender much. Like, he can win games so easily.
Yeah, that's definitely from my other champions.
Yeah. But it's also not even you, right? Like, I don't think they can track if you press yes or if it's just like your team pressing yes. So, for example, because for me it's also above average, even though I feel like I'm not someone that surrenders too much. And of course, also it just counts the games where like the enemies are about to end and then you just surrender, so it's quicker. So like it's really not the most important stat to look at all. Yeah, I guess you can just go in a live game. I don't think. I mean. I guess to do the Raptors path, since I would like you to do the Raptors path this game, so I would just really quickly see if you can do it.
Okay. I have to open my league real quick.
Yeah, just share your screen when you're ready.
Alright.
How would you say are your Ekko mechanics? Like, how comfortable are you with Ekko mechanics?
I think I'm pretty. If I would rate it like an 8 out of 10, maybe.
Really?
That's
Okay.
kind of high, maybe 7.5.
8 out of 10 is definitely pretty high, but we will see. Someone asked me if I think the Hecarim matchup is difficult. I think Hecarim matchup is generally not difficult champion-wise. The thing that makes it difficult oftentimes in lower elos is the fact that people are so bad at respecting Hecarim ganks that like Hecarim is just too fat most of the time. So and then the matchup obviously becomes a little bit difficult if he just has too many items. But overall, like the 1v1, let's say, is not like he's not unbeatable. And it always also depends on what kind of items Hecarim is building at the moment. It changes so much. I think at the moment he's kind of tanky, so the matchup is not that easy.
It was really easy to just one-shot him with Assassin, but now that he's going Gordrink or Shojin, it's
Yeah.
You need at least 2 cycles.
Yeah, but overall his win rate is not very good actually at the moment. And you start the stream?
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you go and practice till first, really quick? Just see if you can do the clear there, or if I need to show you something. And I guess take the other rooms with Blitz auto imports runes. Yeah, you definitely need to turn that off. That Blitz auto imports the runes.
What
Yeah,
I didn't even think I finished installing this thing.
Oh, yeah. As I said, you don't need to set anything up. It should ask you, like, there should be a window popping up now or something where it asks you if you want to auto import runes or whatever. Just turn that off. Like, Blitz runes are basically always wrong.
Turning everything off but jungle timers.
Yeah. I mean, I also like having the, like, CS per minute and whatever on the top right. I don't mind that, but it's also not important.
What the? I don't like this.
Yeah, just go to the recommended. And also, can you switch over to screen share instead of application share so I can see your mouse as well?
Oh, yeah.
You don't even need to close the stream for that, I recently found out.
Oh, right.
Okay, so... I actually started buying the potion again, by the way, because, I don't know, I feel like... This playstyle where you're really just never doing anything early, it just feels too inconsistent. I don't know. You know, someone in chat is saying your minimap is too small. I think it's definitely... Like, as a jungler, you spend a lot of time looking at the minimap, it can for sure be bigger. It's obviously not like a big thing, but it's definitely... Yeah, I would recommend it just having... just be a little bit bigger.
Didn't even think about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, you were an ADC player, right? So you didn't give a fuck about the minimap.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, for example, you really only need to attack the big one. You don't need to attack the small ones at all. Your second Q will finish them all off. And now you go to the crux. Now you see, like, yeah, this is exactly the way I want to do it, just so you know better.
Right.
Then you smite the croc.
Okay. Yeah, I never do this path. Usually.
Trust me, it's better.
Oh yeah, I imagine. I like to gank bot level 3, like, a lot. I usually do. I don't know, I just feel like it's so free.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, it for sure is in your elo. Like, people don't respect, and especially with this path, like, people will expect it even less because it's a different timing than they're used to. Like, some people might think about it and then they will just be used to like the 3:30 timing or whatever. But if you just come at 2:30, people will be really pissed.
Right. And I actually get control.
Nah, don't get them so early. Like, I usually the first time I buy a control word is after finishing my rocket belt. Generally, yeah, I think that's fine. Like, you don't need to clear the other camps. You can't really fuck anything up there. I guess just show me your mechanics really quick as well on a target dummy or something. Just some like EQs or whatever. I've noticed that you play with the indicators. I think, like, I've said this, like, I think yesterday in the last coaching session I did as well. You can't have genuinely good echo mechanics with these indicators. You probably have them with if you hold it, right? Right. Can you just look in the options really quick? Hotkeys. Yeah, the replace quick cast with this one. Fuck. I mean, you don't need to turn it off now if you feel like it's gonna make your gameplay uncomfortable, but overall, it's for sure something I can recommend to you. Just, like, don't play with it.
Okay.
And then also the one below, I think I also have that ticked on. I think you should also tick it on. I don't know what exactly it does, but cast the press spell upon pressing another spell. It might actually affect your EQ comboing. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, okay, just go in game. It's fine, I guess. Or do you want me to show you the Raptors path again really quick so you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I will do that.
Well, like, what do I do after I back? It's like you want to do 2 camps into Skull, right?
Yeah, not 2 camps. It has to be Grump and blue buff. But sometimes you might also just go for a gank. You know, it's not always the same thing, and that's why you need to look at lanes, of course, as well. In game, like when we're in game, I will mostly let you play your own game and just like write down most of the mistakes. So because I really need to see the kind of mistakes you would obviously make on your own.
Okay.
So yeah, let me just share my screen really quick, and I'll show you how to clear. The fuck? What? It didn't even... Huh? Did I even click lock in? What the fuck?
Funny.
Right. Yeah, so play with it. I definitely recommend this rune setup. Man, like today, I uploaded a video yesterday which was called with like the mathematically correct, and like ever since then I've been having so many rune discussions again. Like that shit bores me nowadays. Like talking about runes, nobody cares. It's such a small thing, and like everyone's allowed to play whatever they want. I think this rune setup is the best one. Most good echoes don't play with it, but that doesn't mean that it's not like the best one.
Right. I also noticed that I don't really see any echoes in high elo.
Yeah, I mean his win rate is like 47% right now in Master.
Yeah.
Master Plus. Okay, so the first thing is like stand back here somewhere, so that your Q can open up and hit all of them, right? And then, as I said, only attack the big one. I actually missed the return Q on one of the small ones. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
So like only keep attacking the big one, and now you can already kind of start kiting. It doesn't have to be like super efficient how you do it, but Just like the general thing, like if you waste a bunch of seconds here, it really is not a big deal. You'll waste a lot more time on other things, on like bad decision making, whatever. But of course, this is the kind of stuff you could just practice and practice to and get good at, and then you got it down and it's easy. Here, another efficiency thing, you can just when you're at this corner, you throw back the Q, and then the return Q can hit the red buff. But sometimes the Krugs are like very weird. Like sometimes they're just bugged, and then you will miss one of them, and that really sucks. So yeah, I mean, I think for your game, you should just make sure to hit all of them.
Yeah.
And then see, like now you should be around 350, basically exactly. So enough for the Dark Seal. And this is where you just look. The reason we do this Krugs and then red is so now you actually have the choice. You could go mid or bot, and if you do this last, then you really just can go bot, right? Or on this side, you can only go top. So, and also now you have the red buff for a longer time as well. So, like there's so many reasons. And the other reason is that this camp and this camp will obviously only spawn with a 15 seconds in between. So if you really just stuck full clearing the next time, if you do the red second, then this camp will still not be up for like 20 seconds, and you basically just have to wait. So this just makes your pathing a little bit better.
Makes sense.
Alright, yeah, you can just go in game, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure that Blitz doesn't auto-import the runes again.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It will always rename it to like Blitz Echo. You just need to turn that off. But it should ask you, maybe, did you turn it off? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I guess it won't do it again.
I might have to reopen the app or something though.
No, I think it's fine.
I've been banning Jarvan as well.
I mean, he is like the highest win rate jungler. I mean, do you always do that, where you say that you can first pick?
Yeah, I like to do it after bans.
I'm not generally a big fan of that as Ekko, honestly. I feel like Ekko is a champ that like the game can get unnecessarily difficult if you first pick Ekko, you know? So like I think bot laners should generally just first pick Ekko, not first pick Ekko, they should just first pick. It's like if people want to swap with you, then sure man, swap, but I don't think you should always offer that, honestly. I think it's every now and then it will just lose you a game. The fuck is wrong with this guy? You're like, what?
You can't be serious.
I mean, just do you have another account that you can play on?
Actually, yeah, I do, but it's like gold.
I mean,
I haven't dodged like ever. You can just
but you still need to wait like 5 minutes now, of course.
Oh shit!
To hurt people are so fucking
that's
mentally
never
ill.
happened to me before. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you even were like a nice guy and asked if you first play one.
Of course, it has to be now. Fuck this bitch.
It's fine. Like we won't like these 5 minutes or whatever. Won't be in your time, of course. Yeah, I guess either like if you have another account that's somewhat decently ranked, I guess go on that. And I mean, gold is definitely lower, of course, but it's also like you will probably still make the similar mistakes.
It's up to you. I can get on the gold account, or I can just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, I guess I can just show you, I don't know, some more mechanics or whatever. Maybe.
Okay. It is your time.
Yeah. Or you could actually just go and practice tool again really quick and maybe do the path again. Okay. Of course, I just showed you how you should be doing it.
Does the timer still go down if I'm practicing?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What the? Oh, the client was bugging.
Some people are just like weird.
That's so random.
There's Ekko. Oh, you have all the Ekko skins done.
Yeah, most of them I got on sale at like your shop. Because my account's like super old.
You have the chromas for the Trick or Treat Echo?
Actually, no, I don't. But I'm about. Wait. Oh, I can't even get them from the Essence Emporium. Forgot about that.
I really like the golden chrome. I have it on one of my accounts. I feel so special whenever I play with that. It's definitely something you don't see very much.
I usually stand right here, and
You can also stand there. I think even just skill Q and then like hold it for the indicator. Yeah, like I usually use the indicator for, like sometimes I use the indicator, I guess, just to make sure to hit all of them. And this will hit all of them.
I missed one of them. Oh.
No, this is fine. See, now you missed one actually. Yeah, just kill it. I'm curious if you will still be level 3. I actually don't know. Because someone told me that you still get level 3 even if you don't get all of the small ones. The problem now, of course, that you have is that you don't have enough gold for the Dark Seal.
Oh, I didn't even realize I missed one.
Yeah, you have 7 CS. If you would have gotten all of them, you would have 8. I mean, you would have to wait like a few seconds anyways only, but... Oh, you actually do get level 3, okay. So it's not even that big of a deal anymore. And I guess from recalling, you actually get the gold anyways. Yeah, that's good to know for sure. I also learned something then. Yeah, and then exactly. Always E out of base to the next thing. And this is where this is the time where you just look top, basically. Look top, look mid, maybe, see if you can go there.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to work on too, is like, while I don't have any abilities, look at my lanes just so I can understand the lane state.
Yeah, like, this is very important, right? And this is generally one of the biggest things that's missing. Yeah, you should always do the blue first.
Okay.
For like the same reason we do the red last on the other side. Like always do the 2 smaller camps as close as possible together, basically. Right? That's how you need to think about it. So either do the buff first or last. And in this case, I think it's best to just do the blue first, then do Grump. If the crab is contested, you go there right away. And if it's not contested, you can also just do wolves and then do the crab. And then your pathing will be perfect, basically. But like usually I just smite away the crab and then go to my wolves, and it's like it's not a big deal. There's like a 10-second delay, but most of the time that won't matter. Like, most of the time I would say you're not on spawn at the camps anyways, but if you are, of course, it does suck a little bit if you have to just wait there AFK.
Yeah. So now my raptors are respawning. Normally
exactly. And that's why the pathing is so nice, right? Because these camps are just respawning now, and if you clear all of them, you'll be level 5 as well, I'm pretty sure. You should be. And usually you have 850 gold as well then. So you can buy the blasting wand if you are not able to have any impact anywhere. But usually during this time you should already, of course, be looking to have an impact somewhere.
Right.
How much gold are you missing actually? You're not quite at 850 I think here, or are you? Oh, you might be. Yeah. You're almost, like the one crack you're missing from the beginning, right? And now with that you would have had 850. So, I mean, you have it anyways after recalling. Yeah. This is like a somewhat frequent early game, I guess you might have. And it's like now you also had like 9 CS per minute. Of course, now the minute turned over, so it went down to 7. But that's very good. Like, if you have this, you're having like... This is like the perfect tempo, basically, that you can have, almost. Of course, like with some inefficiencies. And yeah, this is where you just go topside again, usually. Right, and now the way you did clear, because you cleared the Grump first and then Blue Sea, like now it's 13 seconds on the Grump and almost a minute on the Wolves, which kind of sucks. Otherwise, it would have just been like 30 seconds on the Wolves, so it would have just been a little bit better. Yeah, I guess probably your dodge timer should be gone now. You've been in game for 5 minutes.
I did skip a minute though. That
Yeah,
should be close.
it's you're also waited a little bit outside of the thing.
Sure.
Yeah, how shitty would it be if the dodge timer didn't go down when you're not in game, or when you have to wait for it in the like the queue? It would be horrible.
Never get dodge timers, so I don't even know. Oh, there
Yeah, I
you
mean
go.
that's good actually that you don't dodge games. I think in your elo especially you should never dodge, but like even higher elos you should just not dodge. Like so many times I've caught myself on stream where I say like, oh, this draft is unplayable, and then it ends up being a 15-minute surrender for the enemies. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't like, yes, you might have some amount of knowledge of course and whatever, but in reality it really just matters so much more how people play out the game, and then the thing doesn't even matter, right? Like the draft and whatever.
Yeah. I only lost 4 LP for that though. That's kind of nice.
4? I thought you always lose 5. I don't know.
Oh, no, I think I did lose 5. I just can't do math.
Yeah. You know what? I once dodged like I accidentally queued up for a blind pick game, and then I obviously like it was on stream as well, and then I dodged it, and then later on I dodged like a ranked game, and I lost fucking 15 LP for it. Like it was like the dodge from a normal game counted for the dodge in the ranked game. That's so fucking stupid.
That sucks.
Yeah. And I'm also like, usually I'm not someone that dodges. Like I literally only dodge because I accidentally queued up for the wrong queue. Really annoying. Okay. Yeah,
Like,
I guess one thing with the Jarvan ban also, I mean, I said, right, he is the strongest jungler basically at the moment. I think generally, though, the matchup is not very difficult for Ekko.
see, I think I only played 1 game against him in ranked. I won the game, but I think it was I don't think I won that game because of my difference. Oh wait, this is the wrong game. It's like I got all the early objectives, but my laners just won their lanes. Like that didn't have anything to do with me.
But did it have much to do with the Jarvan, though? The fact that you didn't have a lot of impact? Oh yeah, it was the second. I mean, you had like 12 kills, it's fine. Yeah, you were the sixth ranked, I guess, but
I died.
Seems like you did something.
That's true. I guess I wasn't. I did definitely outscale him, but I feel like if my team wasn't like half decent, then we would have just FF.
No, I think he's fine to ban at the moment. Like he really is super strong. It's okay. I just want you to know, like the matchup itself is really not that difficult. Let me actually see what are like the top junglers. Where's Jordan at the moment?
Printing tempo. It's like insane.
Yeah, 52%. He's only the 6th highest win rate. Who's the highest? What? Rek'Sai.
I've not seen like actually a single Rek'Sai.
Yeah, me neither. Like I never really see that champ, and whenever I do, I actually somehow win. I don't know. Yeah. Fiddle, I've actually been struggling against a little bit. I have to say. But not even that. Like it was probably also not the Fiddle, to be fair though. But of course, this champ like he has point-to-click CC, which it just kind of sucks because you usually want to build the Sorks against him to just deal more damage, but at the same time you also need tenacity so he doesn't point-to-click CC you to death.
Oh yeah, weirdly, I think my least favorite matchup so far has been.
Jesus Christ! Okay, go on your gold account, I guess.
Okay, that's
so
fucked up.
Lucky, man.
I'm actually sad.
I mean, you will lose 15 LP. It's like your choice, I guess. But I'm sure you want to do an Ekko coaching.
Yeah.
God, and it's so unfortunate that the fucking idiot in the first game was even your teammate.
Yeah, that's literally never happened to me before either.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, who the fuck banned the 47% win rate champ? I guess in Emerald he has actually decent win rate, but yeah, that's really unfortunate, I have to say. As I said, though, if we have to go over the 2 hours or whatever to go through the replay, then we will of course do that.
Alright.
Yeah, rip LP, but it's like the worst thing, honestly, for me is the fact that it used to be that if you dodge games, it at least was somewhat positive for your MMR, but I think now that's not even the case anymore.
I don't really mind losing some LP.
Yeah. It's whatever. It's like one game, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, so this account is like, I barely just got it to level 30. Because I hand leveled this account.
Okay, but maybe you have good MMR then if you're gold. Maybe you play with Emerald players, who knows? Or have you, like, how many games did you win?
I don't know.
We'll see, I guess. Is playing 1,000 games with a positive win rate the only way to raise MMR? No, I think the general way you raise MMR is just by playing the game, like, and then wherever you end up, it just like improves your MMR for the next split, basically. And then I think you can also increase it by just being in an elo for a long time. That's like where your LP games at some point they just start becoming neutral again. But when you usually get to like new peaks and whatever, your MMR will drop down over time a little bit. Can I use this path for Diana? I'm assuming you were talking about the Raptors path. I think you can for sure do that, yeah. With W, or like even with Q. Like I think, yeah, with W and both W and Q should be pretty nice for the Raptors path. And of course, she's like generally, I've heard good junglers say that they just like doing that path with AP junglers because you can buy the Dark Seal. So I think most of them can do it. Evelyn as well. Sure, Karth is good. Yeah, that's definitely very unfortunate. This never happened as well in like one of my coaching sessions, at least not twice. Yeah, I've had people that like got run down or whatever, but it's definitely unlucky.
Yeah, even though this counts gold 3, apparently I still have 8 losses. Not really sure how that happened. Oh, it's because kind of playing ADC, sort of.
Well, okay. Pray that nothing stupid happens again with any Ekko bans.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the same guy? You just had a Yorick mid in your lobby as well. But but it's like a different MMR. That would be so weird. It should be, I guess. Yeah, maybe now like genuinely first pick, so the enemies don't pick Ekko or anything. He wants to first pick the Yorick. Okay, pray.
Okay.
Okay, we're good for now. What smite have you been building usually?
I've actually been leaning more towards green, but it's usually blue or green. But if they have like 1 or 2 hard CCs, it kind of depends like whose CC it is.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Basically, I base it on if I'm gonna actually get hit by that CC or not.
Yeah. I think I've said this a bunch of times recently. I think you might have also read my messages in Discord where I talk about it. It's like, I think the green smite even just the HP is so valuable in the current meta where everyone's just one-shotting each other. So like at this point, I often even just take it against any kind of assassin champs and whatever. Definitely feels pretty like it just feels like the games are easier. I don't know. Feels like so many times when I went blues when I'm just like a full glass cannon and then you make one small mistake and game is just over. And with the green smite you can just make more mistakes. It feels like, and it's easier to ult oftentimes in this kind of stuff.
I guess the biggest advantage to me for taking blue smite is the improvement in like clear speed in a sense. So I guess once I start actually optimizing farming, then it won't feel as bad to not have.
Yeah, I don't know, the blue smite movement speed, I actually have not missed it that much, to be fair. Like, I really haven't. It does feel nice, it's satisfying, but it's not like you really need it most of the time. I don't know. I've actually looked today on the deep lull stats for Ekko, and apparently Lichbane is much higher win rate than Nashor's. I might try out Lichbane again. Yeah. Nashor's has felt pretty good, but
I also do that too, where I don't go one or the other every game. I kind of decide which one.
yeah, I did that for a long time, but now I have actually started building Nashor's most of my game, or like yeah, actually like every game, because it just has more AP and whatever. But yeah, I don't know, maybe the meta just suits Lichbane better. For the similar reason where like with Lichbane you generally take a little bit less damage, I guess, since you're just more bursty focus, and with Nashor's of course you need to stay close to the enemies to really get the value. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Like for example, this game I would probably normally I would go Lich Bane. Um,
I think there's a natural scam. Well, let me see again. But there's a bunch of targets I feel you can auto attack. Yeah, I think there's a pretty solid natural scam, honestly. Like the Eve is pretty nice. Like again, both items I guess are good here. But like Set, you should be able to auto attack a bunch. Zareth, as soon as you're onto Zareth, you will just be able to beat him down. Like same with Evelyn basically. I mean she will probably ult away, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be too opinionated on that though, because I probably need to try out more Lich Bane again. So yeah, as I said, I will mostly be quiet in game and just write down all of the stuff with like timers, and then we talk about it afterwards.
sounds good. I'm playing versus Set ADC. This guy's Emerald.
Yeah, as I said, so the meta, the elo is not even that much lower, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me look at the deep low sets again really quick. I mean, this is only Korea. I don't know why Deep LoL only shows Korean stats. That's so weird.
That is weird.
See, like this. Like this is the one build with 20% pick rate for Lich Bane. I mean, this is on the Korean server, but like this 70% win rate, and then Nashor's 10% pick rate, 33% win rate, and also less damage per minute. They built Shadow Flame. They built Shadow Flames, and like they're fucking criminals, honestly. Nah, like, but Eastern players are actually so bad at item building. It's for sure like you shouldn't care too much about what the Koreans built.
Yeah, so like here, I think Misfortune Lux has really good gank setup, so I'm just gonna Raptors clear probably to bot gank.
Yeah, yeah. Just like don't force it, I guess. Don't force it. If the enemies are not overextending or anything, then just recall and try to do it later on, right? Don't force gank there just because you have that plan now. I wouldn't even like I wouldn't I don't like telling my people too much because it might influence them in bad ways, you know. I don't know. In my experience, they should just play the game and then you can look if there's opportunities.
I guess it's just I think I'm just scarred because my bot lane, like I want to gank level 3 bot lane, but they just die at level 2 without hitting level 2. Sometimes it's just really painful.
But there's nothing you can do about that.
That's true. Don't know what the fuck they're doing here.
Me neither. I guess just getting some stacks, but this guy has balls. Just ping them away, honestly.
Oh yeah.
They didn't realize.
Thing is, everyone started blue, so if I show bot, she can just go take my blue side.
Not really. And that's why the pathing is so good. Like, you will always catch her at the blue, even if she goes there right away. Almost always. I mean, it really depends on how much time you spend on bot, of course, but generally you will catch them.
Yeah, I got it. Can't gank bot. Oh, shoot. kept my W for just for this. You will be here for that.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
Mm. You ever go Sork shoes first?
No, no, no. I think buying 2-1 boots is good early, like you do now. That's pretty nice, but I think you should always get your rocket belt first. Really feels bad, like not having the rocket belt and delaying the power spike. It definitely sucks.
Yeah.
I've tried it, but it doesn't feel good. Like, I don't know, some junglers do it, but I think junglers like Nidalee or whatever, they maybe do it because their AP scalings are just lower than Ekko's.
Oh my god, you get that. Fuck.
Yes.
This looks is interesting.
Yeah, but you're in a really, really good position to just carry this game.
Yep.
Also, especially against their team, they really don't have a lot of CC. It's only the Zerafi, and like Zerafi is one spell you need to think about basically, and you should be able to do that.
Assuming my wolves are gone. They're gone.
I don't know. They often aren't, honestly. People are, especially in this elo, they're too scared to fully invade. They only just take the one camp and then they run, oftentimes.
I do that too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, so...
Oh wow. I was there for so long. Okay.
Like a general rule, I feel like if you go for these kind of invades, you should just start at wolves, because they're deeper in the jungle, right? Like, just start at wolves and then take the grump, and if the enemy jungle manages to come to you, then you just can usually escape.
The game is lagging a little bit. Not sure if that's because of Blitz or...
Maybe because you're streaming or something.
that sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't really good timing to do drag, honestly. Like it might have worked, or like I don't even think it was a massive mistake to go for it there because sometimes you do get the drags like this a little bit cheesy where it's like a weird timing, but generally that was definitely not a great timing, right? Like one of your laners was dead on bot, and also the lane wasn't shoved out, so for sure risky. And then against Eve specifically, you can't really see if she knows, right? Because she's just standing next to you, invisible. So well, that's
Yeah,
exactly what
I
happened.
I usually go for drags like that because I thought that she would have. I mean, she just showed bot. I didn't think that she had anything to recall and go right back bot for, but
I mean, Eve also regens a lot of her HP, right? So even if I mean, we didn't really know if she was low anyways,
oh
but
yeah.
like even if she was somewhat low, that she would regen most of her HP even in the early game just with her passive. That's good to see. You're not like unnecessarily scared or anything of the Eve. Because I feel like a lot of people struggle in this matchup for the only reason for that is that they think Eve can just kill them, but she really can't.
Yeah, I know. Not with the items that she has. That's the one thing that's nice coming from ADC is you definitely know what can one shot you and what can't.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Echo's limits are a little bit different, but
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. This is like Platinum Emerald Elo. I think there's like one Emerald player here.
Yeah.
Someone asking in chat.
Right here, I don't have anything to do, sort of, but I want to set up in this bush.
Not sure. I feel like you might have walked into vision already a bunch of times here.
Oh,
I'm not 100% on that, but it feels like you were a little bit close to the minions sometimes.
yeah. Whoa, I just lagged so hard right there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Evelyn's top so go hard.
Nice.
Oh shit, I don't have man hope.
A little bit overstayed in the end, but you definitely did get a lot here.
I think I was sure after that though.
Yeah, it would have been very very good if you just had backed off a little bit earlier, but it was still fine. Like it was definitely not a mistake, I would say. I mean, it was a mistake in the end dying, of course, but the all the other stuff was really good.
I don't think I'll lose another drag after that though.
Maybe if they, yeah, okay, never mind. I was about to say maybe if they didn't start right away, we can even try to steal, but they did start right away. It seems like. Yeah, guys, but this this account is gold, but the most of the players in this game are still platinum, and one of them is emerald, so it's not even that much lower than his other account, just a little bit.
Yeah, I usually see like 2 or 3 emeralds in my normal lobbies. It's 3. That electrocute feels so good right there.
Yeah.
That's really sad. I'm 50 gold. This
Definitely skill your ult here. And like your E.
What the hell? That was so weird. Thanks. I have no idea why I didn't do that. Oh shit, I have to steal this?
You can even punish. This
Like,
guy.
always free.
But they're also so unaware. That's good. Wants to donate you some Majestex as well?
Yeah, this is looking like a gold game. I don't have M7 to flash.
Who called Baron on your team? Oh, damn. You didn't get the red buff? That's whatever.
Did I shoot my Q backwards or
Yeah.
why? That's weird.
It's because you followed and then I think your mouse was still at the wrong position, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty big shutdowns here for sure. Oh wow, the Zarov got it though, your shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone predicted that you will be ending this game at 28 minutes, and now that you died, all of you died here, it's actually a pretty reasonable call, I would say.
And yeah, that Baron just I was not expecting that. It was so free.
You weren't really thinking about the Kale ult here, basically that's why you died, I would say.
Yeah. It sucks that we didn't end with that Baron though. Could have easily ended.
No, probably.
He TP'd. Interesting. Oh.
I don't know, like you're a little bit split up, all of you.
Yeah. This is one of those games where I'm just gonna go Banshee's Veil because I don't need any more damage, and it's usually just one spell that's catching me out. So I like to
Yeah,
go
that's
Banshee's Veil when
fine.
I'm
Yeah, I also sometimes do that. I think you should just keep clearing here, by the way.
just what?
Just like keep clearing your jungle, and then
Yeah.
you'll still be able to get to Nash quickly enough.
Yeah. That's my team wants to do this. Why is it 40 seconds? And it says 28.
Because you just level it up.
Fucking damn it. He really almost one-shot me. I guess she has 3 items Evelyn.
Yeah, I mean, an Evelyn that wasn't behind you would have just fully one-shot you.
Yeah.
Just stay. Like, couldn't even buy anything. Why did you do that?
HP, I guess.
Yeah, when you have red buff, you would have healed it up anyways.
Sure. Bro, my game is lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I saw it. I think your team can end though. I hope.
2850.
Oh no. Oh no.
Gosh.
Man, like this shit. Oh, no, you won't.
Damn.
Like, these games always take 10 minutes longer than they need to. No joke.
It ended at 23 minutes, but York decided the side lane was more important than Nexus.
No, but in this elo is like people just struggle so much with ending the game cleanly. It's like almost every coaching session is like I'm already like ready to log into my NA account and like go into the game review, and then something like this happens. Oh man.
Should be able to steal this pretty easily.
I don't know if they're even on it.
Yeah. Oh, my passive doesn't proc when she's in her ult.
Yeah. Same with Pantheon E, for example.
Oh. No.
Could have killed the Camille there with your E. And you also would have had massive movement speed, so they couldn't have been able. They wouldn't have been able to really punish you for it. Definitely your target here should be the KO, like she's starting to be a problem.
Yeah. There's no ult right now.
Like, this game might actually get close now. It's a little late in kill. You could look for a backdoor here. You genuinely could. You should do it so quickly. Just try. Yeah, just try. You might get it.
It only can be Evelyn. Oh.
Just W somewhere. Nice. GG easy. There it is. Yeah, like Ekko is very good at backdooring, 100%. Man, this game, I feel like you could have actually lost it if you didn't go for the backdoor here, not gonna lie.
And I actually...
We're starting to lose fights. I mean, you lost the last 3 fights in a row or something, so...
Yeah.
It's definitely scary.
I was feeling really not that confident because my game felt really choppy.
Yeah. Wait, let me log into my air account. Right, I guess overall I have to say I'm actually pretty impressed for the fact that you're an Emerald player. I have to like I would have expected way more big mistakes, especially in the early game. You didn't do many mistakes, actually. Like you really didn't. Like some smaller ones, and I would say that the best way to describe how I would describe you at the moment is like you have like the right ideas. It's just a little bit rough around the edges for the most part. Right, so it's like most of the stuff you're doing, it could just be done faster. It could be done a little bit more decisive. Like your mechanics could be a little bit better, of course, and whatever. I think for the mechanics, definitely turn off these indicators, as I said. Try playing with that. Like it might feel weird for the first couple of games, but you will get the hang of it, and it will just make your gameplay much faster. And then I guess definitely in the early and mid game you had very good impact, but in the late game you were not having the impact you could have had. Like you could have went for so many more one shots and whatever on people, especially on the Kayle in the late game, for example. Just take her out. Like yes, she might ult, but if you're really quick, she might not even have the reactions to ult anyways. And then like yeah, this kind of stuff. Just look to have more impact. Of course, I know it's scary in the late game. If you die, then the game might be over, but you won't get better at it if you don't even try. You know. Why is it not showing your game? Ah, it wasn't the other account. What's the other account called?
Yeah, it's
Messaging me or yeah.
Yeah, it's just taking a bit.
Well, yeah, overall, actually, I think Diamond should 100% be reachable for you with the way you played this game. And then also another like general note I think is you really did not look at lanes enough though. Like I feel a lot of the things that happened they just kind of fell in your lap in this game. So you were a little bit lucky to be fair, but like you really didn't have info on too many things sometimes and still got away with it or whatever, or just like sometimes you even, like there was one play where I wrote down where I feel like it was the wrong decision, but it still got rewarded, I guess, because sometimes the enemies of course also misplay and whatever. You actually start with the Oracle Lens. I think you should never do that. I personally like getting the sweeper after I have my rocket belt. That's usually like I don't like getting it too early. I think the wards early have more value usually. Like in the Eve matchups, they're not super necessary. But let's say against Jarvan, for example, you usually need to ward here, so he can't just EQ over the wall and invade you. Or if he does that, then you know, and then you just go to his blue side and you basically just trade sides, you know. Tab out. Yeah. Like, do I even share my screen right now? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Okay, good. So yeah, let's just try, I guess. So yeah, as I said, like, don't only attack the big one here. You attack the small ones a bunch of times. Really, you only need to attack the big one. But this is really not the stuff that is losing you games or whatever. It's just something that's very easy to improve on. So
Yeah.
why not just do it correctly, you know? Yeah. This is all not super efficient, but it's really not a big deal. And then here's the time where you just need to look bot. And I think in this wave, you probably won't be able to gank them, right? Your wave is much bigger, so they will shove it in now. And they're quite far back. So yeah, just recalling here is fine. Mid also not gankable. But you're not unhappy with that with this path, right? You're happy with just getting the Dark Seal. And then you could even fight the Eve here. Interesting that the Eve pinged you and it was actually correct. She actually knew where you are. See, like, now because you were actually a little bit slow here, you should have probably done the crab next. Okay. Because normally when you do everything perfectly, you are able to do both of these camps and then the crab will be spawning, but you were a little bit slow, so the crab is spawning in like 10 seconds. So that would actually be beneficial for your pathing here. Just going there right away, and then also you won't be there late, right? Let's see, like... Now it's already been spawned for a couple of seconds, and if this guy was a little bit quicker as well, then he could have already had it, basically. And then here, I thought very good that you were not scared of her, right? Yes, you're down a level or whatever, but this guy's half HP, and you need to know that you can kill her here.
Yeah.
I think the W placement was not optimal. I think it should just be more on top of her. Eve is a champ without any movement spells, so she can't really do too much, right, other than flash. I would probably have even placed it behind her here a little bit. She probably should, or she should be starting to leave. And you'd also want to fight here, right? Like, because let's see how this plays out. You kind of need to take that step back to even get your shield, and it's a little bit awkward. And then also your E here was, right, it was also a tiny bit awkward. You kind of dashed out of range and couldn't do the auto attack right away.
Yeah.
So in the end, it worked out. You didn't even have to flash here. You could have just queued. Like, your Q was up again. So that flash was, I didn't even write that down, but that flash was definitely wasted. I'm actually gonna write that down because I'm also gonna give you the notes afterwards. So
I guess the reason I flashed there was because I didn't want her to get any of her abilities back.
But she wouldn't, like, none of her abilities are in range here. I guess her Q is, but your Q is up first, so just throw it on cooldown here and it will 100% kill her. Yeah, and then I think doing the crab here is actually right, just to heal a little bit before fighting her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way you should play this is throw your Q. Like, this guy doesn't have E, he just used the E anyways to fight, so throw your Q, and then go in with the E to proc passive. Don't walk up to her, like this is way too close, this doesn't need to be nearly this close. All you could do here is just stand at range, throw Q, wait for the return Q to come in, and then proc E with E and she won't be able to attack you. I mean, it was actually somewhat optimal in this situation because she even wasted her ignite, but like you can't account for that, right? You could have also died here.
I would think I really did not expect her to turn. My thought process was that I was saving my E to follow her E or flash, but she just turned. Which
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But the way I'm saying, right, where you just throw the Q here, you're still saving your E, right?
Yeah.
You're still saving your E. You're just not taking the unnecessary damage here by walking up to her and letting her auto attack you. Because yes, of course, you get like one more auto off like this, but I don't think that auto is needed. I think you would have gotten her no matter what, like half a second later. And also with if you have the awareness that she's playing without flash here, right? You can know that she really she has no way to get away here after using her E. So you just like you should just know 5 seconds before that this is already a kill. And then, yeah, I think it was a good to see, like, obviously I didn't tell you anything in-game. You were like thinking for a second to recall, but I think clearing here is definitely the right decision. Or like, at least clearing this camp, right? Like, and then, and then the fact that you went for that recall yourself is something I'm, like, I don't know if you did it because you wanted to have good tempo, or if you just did it because you were low HP, but I think this is a very good, like, tempo recall. You have a lot of gold to spend here. It's gonna make you clear these camps much faster, so I think that's definitely good. It's not perfect. If you could have had a little bit more money for another Amptom, it would have been even better. But this is also very solid base. Like as I said, I think having the boots early, it's pretty nice. It allows you to get some kills you might otherwise not be able to get because you just are quicker than the enemies, of course. And then here you check the crab. I think you can assume that the crab is gone, but it also doesn't cost you too much time. And if it's not gone, then nice, right? You got an extra crab.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say this is a mistake. And then you just clear down.
Extra time to go bot, which I didn't think about at the time.
Let me see. Like here, while you're walking out of base, just look bot, right? Look bot, see if you should go there right away. I think in this case you shouldn't, because I mean, okay, this wave set is actually really good for ganking generally, but also they're not showing, so you don't really have info. I mean, yeah, and also I think they are kind of breaking their freeze now as well. So now the wave set is not nearly as good anymore anyways. It's gonna actually shove into them because there's way more minions from your team here. And unless they of course clear it. I mean, the way this plays out, you could have maybe went there. Yeah, for sure, if you are here now, then you definitely can kill the Zeref, I'm sure, but at the same time it was also somewhat difficult to predict, and like just clearing your camps here is the safe play, and you might still be able to do something there afterwards.
Yeah,
I think it's also...
I would have ever been able to consider that Lux would go in like that.
Yeah, definitely not. I think this is fine, the way you played this. Also, I think it's reasonable that you do the Raptors first instead of the Crux. Like, if you did the Crux first, you're looking to path mid, and I feel like the way this Yorick is just perma-shoving, you're not gonna get anything done in mid, so I think going to the Raptors first here and then clearing down and then maybe looking for bot is not a bad thing. Also, of course, the way you cleared these camps, they will also respawn, so it just makes all the camps respawn in a nice line, which is for sure good. You definitely went for a lot of lane ganks. I think they're not bad at all. But also in some situation, I feel like you should have just went for normal ganks where you come from behind, basically, right? You just cut off their way a little bit. Because like this, you're always head on, and if they react properly, then you might just not get them. Especially pre-rocket belt, you just don't have that range.
That's true.
Yeah, I think here, you should have placed your W now. You placed it soon, but you could have placed it a little bit earlier. Let's actually see if they saw you place it. Yeah, see, they saw you place it. So you could have already placed it from outside of vision, and then it's definitely a better W. But they still... Did they get stunned? I don't remember. Let's see.
I don't remember either, actually.
No, they didn't see. But if you had placed it a little bit earlier from outside of vision, then they might have gotten stunned. Or they just would have probably also started running away later. But yeah, it was good. The fact that you... I guess you kind of knew that you would kill him and you didn't just like get scared of him or anything like that. It's definitely good.
I was trying to dodge that Zerathi, but I still got
him. Yeah. You didn't have E for it. Like, usually in this matchup, I've been playing against a lot of Zerefs recently because the champ's pretty strong. But Ekko's very good against Zeref, of course. So like, usually in this matchup, while you're running at a Zeref, just like really focus on dodging his E. There's nothing else you need to do. Really just have your E ready. They will throw it at some point. They usually look at you in a weird way anyways. It's very obvious most of the time. Then you just E somewhat to the side and go on them. So yeah,
really the only thing that was catching me in this game was his E's.
Yeah, I mean that's also the only CC they really have. I mean not really. They also have Camille. They have like Evelyn W or whatever. They have set CC, but it's not like CC that really bothers Ekko for the most part.
Right.
So yeah, I think here it's fine to just base. You probably don't get anything here unless this guy's actually trolling. The Eve actually went for an invade, interestingly enough. Yeah, and then as I said, right, you assume that this is gone, but it's usually really not gone. Like even higher elos, most of the time people don't invade the whole site because they're just too scared that they will get caught. It really is. Most of the time the walls are not invaded in these situations where the Grump is gone. And then, as I said, also in game, if you're in the position where you're invading, I think you should always just start at the wolves and then go back, clear your Grump. So, like, if someone comes and catches you, you can just escape here, right? If you're caught here, then you're just fucked most of the time. Because, like, the mid laner can also move and whatever. Here, I think you really didn't look bot here quickly enough. Yeah, I wrote that down. And also here, you didn't look top at all while you were here. I don't know if you should go there. Like, while you were coming out of base, right, you really didn't look top. Or now, while you were here, you didn't look top. That's where you need to look top. because you're kind of close to it anyways. I think you probably don't go there anyways, but you just need that info. Imagine this guy is on like much lower HP, then you definitely can go there and just dive or something.
Yeah.
They also have info here of you because the Eve left a ward. Yeah, and here I also, as I said, I wrote down, like, you didn't look bot quickly enough. As soon as you see the Eve, you just need to look there. You need to see what happens with the HP and if you need to move there or not. And this kind of info was missing from you a bunch of times this game, and it didn't really get punished because you still got the kills, but in some games it might just not get punished and then you just didn't have the impact that you could have because you were missing info. Yeah, and then here generally you should just do the Crux next and then red buff, same way you would do it on your first clear. Because it really doesn't take much longer. And I guess here they're just backing up. You can look for, yeah. Also, as I said, right, this is not a good Drake. First of all, it fucks up your pathing for no reason. When you could just do this and then still look if there's a good opportunity to do Drake afterwards. You know, there's no reason to do it now. And like, why would you think that this is a good time? Your Lux just died. They're still in lane. Yes, they're somewhat low. You have no real info on the Eve other than the fact that she was just bot a second ago. So like this is not a great timing, and at this point it still takes you a pretty long time to do the Drake on your own. You are somewhat fed here, but it's still, you can see it takes you some time, and the Eve is actually able to walk there. Definitely interesting that she even goes for it though. Like that's like one of those low elo things that actually got rewarded here, but like I think most of the time good players probably wouldn't have checked the Drake here, at least not like this. She would have probably just used the plant like a good jungler to see, and then at least you would have had the info. So like this guy randomly running at you completely blindly here, it's for sure unfortunate. And then he even gets the steal off. But here, very good ult to dodge her ult. Definitely, like, you kind of went AFK after that. I don't know why you got hit by the Zerafi after that.
I hit a lag spike again.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Definitely though, like, place your W quicker in these kind of fights. I think generally it's a good habit to, as soon as the Drake gets low, always just place a W.
Okay.
At the end, because then at the end is where the enemy is gonna come into you, if anything. So that's where you would want to have the W ready anyways. Unless there is a fight that, like in the later stages of the game where you might just actually fight the objective, of course, just like, don't use your objective on the Drake, your W. Just use it wherever you need to use it for fighting, and like hold it until like a fight breaks out. But in these kind of situations where you're just doing the Drake on your own and it might get stolen or it might be contested last second, just place it now, I guess, would be a good time. And then you would already have it ready for when the Eve is moving in. At least you placed it before the ult, that's definitely good. So like now you have the shield, so you don't get fully one-shot, and you also, this guy can't kill you. That's fine. And now definitely do the Crux first.
Okay. Yeah, I get why.
For the same reason you always do the, as I said, right, like just for the timer. Of course, already your timer is somewhat fucked up here, but still, it's just a tiny bit less fucked up if you do the Crux. And of course, you also have the red buff for a longer time to play with it if you don't clear another camp, right? Like now it's already, quarter of it is already gone. And maybe other, if you had done the red last, then maybe only like a fifth of it would be gone. Like it's small stuff, right? It's really small stuff, but it's still... Most of the small stuff in League of Legends is so easy to improve on, that's why I'm always still telling about it, of course. Here, definitely look top. Right, this guy's super low, he's also quite low on mana, so... Yeah, I think don't even attack the blue buff, just go top right away here. Also the wave, like this guy could hold the wave. And then... Yeah, I don't know. She shouldn't be allowed to base here, honestly. I mean, maybe... Let's see, maybe you were too far away, I'm not sure. But if you ping that you go there now, then the time might also play differently, right? And just wait a second, right? Like, he might just not engage now and just wait and just keep her in lane on half HP, and then you can for sure gank her. So this is what I mean with, like, communication making can make a big difference in these kind of situations. But again, like, you couldn't have even communicated because you weren't really looking there, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I think we were looking at some point after the Tamkench pinged or something. Or was that later? Maybe that was later. Yeah, it was later. Yeah, it was later. I wrote it down. Like, at some point I wrote down don't get baited by Tom pings. It was like at 15 minutes. So like here, I guess you just really... we didn't even have the info that this guy was so low in game. So yeah, just clearing here is fine. And then the Eve, for some reason, thinks she's allowed to invade you and like show, but yeah, you punish her for it, she dies. It's definitely good. Like, it is so good that you punish this guy for all his dumb mistakes. You definitely just smite it away. Place your W a little bit quicker. That's like one. This is what I mean, right? You have the right ideas. It's just all of it could just be a little bit quicker. Like you placing the W here as soon as you see her would have definitely been better.
Right.
It just takes you. Okay, I mean you don't have it now. You have it up though as soon as she goes. Yeah, like now just place your W somewhere here. Probably I would just place it here or here. Like it's always a gamble, right? You don't know. You're not in her head. You don't know exactly where she's gonna click, but just place it somewhere where it's somewhat likely that she will be. And of course, also, it doesn't even have to hit her. Just like placing it here means she will have to stay in with you, right? Either that or she will have to ult out. I mean, she doesn't even have ult yet. That's so... Man, the decision making on her, the fact that she goes for an invade when she doesn't even have ult up is crazy. That's why this guy lost the game. Yeah, she flashed out, but Tom actually moved. So that's also like... I know that in this kind of elo especially, people just sometimes they don't move at all, and it's so tilting. Definitely you were blessed with teammates that were moving this game.
Yeah.
And now you get the Herald, that's nice. And yeah, I think at this point, recalling just to get the Rocket Belt is definitely the right choice, right? Like, you could walk to your bot set, but you wouldn't really gain anything off it other than like an extra amp tome, and being on the map with the Rocket Belt already is much better. And now the timing is also great, right? Like 11 minutes is very solid for having a Rocket Belt. And you already have boots as well. So like now, as I said, you're in a really good position to carry this game. For sure.
How do I like get better at just checking the map? Like,
just do it.
Okay.
There is no... What do you think is like the shortcut to it? You really just need to do it. Like just get into...
Like,
I mean, you get into the habit of when you're walking out of the base, what else do you have to do? Nothing. Literally nothing. Like that's that's like the biggest time where you really can just look at the stuff, and then most of the time in the jungle you're playing PvE, right? Like all they do, these camps, is just they auto attack you. So during that time, like, use your abilities. They will be on cooldown for like 9 seconds in the early game, and then during that time where your stuff's on cooldown, just get into the habit of looking at the lanes. And like, you don't even need to look at all the lanes. Just look at the lanes that are in your proximity. So if you're like in your bot side jungle, look at bot, look at mid. You don't really need to give a fuck about top. Like, yeah, you can still look there, especially when you see them fighting. Look there, just see, like, it's definitely important or like good to just have the info on like people's HP, because it will influence their decisions. But like the important lanes are the ones that you're close to. And like this, for example, let me actually see if they saw you. I'm curious. They probably didn't because it worked out, but like this, for example, was a really big commitment that you did here, and it paid off. But in my opinion, for me personally, it was too big of a coin flip. It really was. Like, it was just a coin flip that went in your favor, and that's why... Well, they could have actually seen your patch here. It's funny.
oh,
See, like, they actually saw you. If they looked at them... Yeah, they saw you a bunch of times, technically. I don't know if they actually did, but, like, technically they saw you a bunch of times, so they should never have died here.
right.
But this is the kind of stuff where, like, in your elo, this kind of stuff, it just works, and that's why it might give you the impression that was the correct play, but I don't think it was. I think what I would have went for here, what I even wrote down at that time, and I kind of deleted because it worked out, but I think I would have just went mid here and placed the Herald there. Like, this Yorick is just perma shoving the whole time, and like opening up the map in the mid is definitely good. Like, it for sure is not a bad thing. And in the end,
I'm just kind of afraid to take tier 1 when it's Kale. But
yeah, I can see that, but I feel like in mid it's not as problematic. I don't know. I feel like opening up the mid tower is so valuable. Yeah, like taking the top towers and like bot towers too early sometimes is actually not positive, but like opening up the map in the mid, like it just takes away so much safety from them, right? Like all of their jungle is all of a sudden basically contested if the tier 1 tower here is missing. So yeah, it's definitely pretty good usually. And then, yeah, they just didn't look at their minimap, so they didn't, or they just didn't expect you to be here this long, I guess. So yeah, this turns out great, of course, but I don't think it was technically the right play just because it worked.
yeah, they should actually never... I mean, if it was a normal bot lane, they would never have gone in on that anyways.
Yeah.
So it's just lucky I get that.
And then here I definitely think you should have just like looked in her jungle really quick, especially since she's top, right? She's been showing top for a year here at this point. So just see if this is up and then just get like everything, you know? Get the jungle, get the tower. I mean, maybe you wouldn't have gotten the tower if you don't tower attack it here, but yeah, I don't know if you, I mean, in the end, the fact that you do get it is actually really good, of course, because like this tower gives so much gold and whatever, but I don't know. I mean, you die in the end as well because you overstay a little bit too long here. I think now is where you just need to like proc passive on this guy maybe once more, but then leave. Like don't stay here. At this point, you should know that the Eve is coming. So yeah, this was definitely a mistake going back in here.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty clean, I guess. At least you get the kill, but it's not worth, right? Like giving your shot down for some random kill.
Plus, I think Set could have lived if did he have W?
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, he did. He's just bad. Yeah, he definitely should have W'd. So and then it would have definitely been worse. Yeah, and you flash and she follows with East. It's a similar interaction to Ekko's E, I guess. Or if you flash at the wrong time, she just follows you. So I think what you should have done here, like I think it's even still okay that you turn around for this Q, but like just don't E in right away. Like just get the passive proc and run at this point. Like yeah, especially because if this guy is human, then he just presses W, so you need to like wait that out anyways. But this is also what I'm always saying, especially in your elo, if you're just quick enough with your stuff, how you were here, people might not even react with their spells that they need to react with.
That was an Emerald set too.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason he's playing in this game, right? Nah, that's like always how it is. The people with the highest borders usually are the worst ones if they're in these kind of lobbies.
Yeah.
They actually have two really good Drakes here. You're still ahead in golden, and you personally are in a really good position to carry this game, of course.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, here's where I wrote down, don't get baited by the pings. I don't know, this guy's full HP, your Tom is on 1 HP. I think just like, I don't know, I mean, maybe you can go there. I'm sure in this elo you probably get away with it, but like, this guy can also just E away, I feel like, most of the time. So, I don't know.
I was thinking Kench had enough lockdown to CC.
Yeah, maybe. But like, just like cancel what you're doing at this point and just commit, you know? You're like half committing at this point, so that's never the right choice. And this guy's so low, I don't know. Did anything happen here? No, she just eat away, so... It's not like you wasted a massive amounts of time here anyway, so it's not a big deal, but still... I think just like clear your jungle and then see if something can still happen on top, you know? And this was like, okay, this was like probably one of the biggest mistakes in your game here. You're 1 XP of level 10, which is a small power spike because it's just like an extra level. And the big thing is you're just missing your smite upgrade for 1 camp. And you actually are missing it, like you get stuff done here, you get some kills, which is like nice. But you could have also 100% gotten that after clearing the wolves. Right, and now you also fucked up your pathing a little bit. It would have taken you 10 extra seconds to do it, and then you could have still ran here. And like, again, they spot you, and for some reason it still works. That's so odd. Like, they have full info on you here.
Sitting there for a long time.
They have full info, they just don't give a fuck. Like, this guy doesn't care. He just accepts death, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, am I in red side vision right there?
Yeah, you walked through here.
Well, I mean, like where I'm standing right now.
No, but like obviously, what do you, like if they look at their minimap, they will have to expect that you're somewhere. They didn't see you walk back, so yeah, they should expect that you're here. So like, yeah, I don't know. This kind of disrespect happens all the time, and it's good that you actually punished it here. Like it will happen less and less. I'm sure in Emerald it happens like a tiny bit less than it does maybe in this like Platinum Gold game, but still, it's like I don't know. They didn't even ping you or anything either. That's so funny. Like maybe genuinely nobody was looking at the minimap or something. Yeah, and here I think you could have probably even went for a top dive. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this guy doesn't even have ult. Yeah, you just ping on the way. Ping on the way. That means they will start shoving, and then just like place your W exactly where she is basically. And just like the only thing you need to think about is her E, of course. That you're positioning in a way where she can't get completely out of range. So like, she will probably E away here, or she will try to go for some weird outplay, but if she's somewhat smart, she will probably just try to E away. So just like, don't commit too hard on her. Like, hold your E in this kind of situation, I guess. And Zerev's actually somewhat coming to his assistance, but... I mean, you just leave, it's fine. And then this guy, yeah, I think the way this guy walked, I was thinking you could probably also look to kill him. And they still spot you again here, though, or do they? Right. Did they spot you this time? Maybe it didn't. No, I think the way you pauthed it didn't actually spot you.
I didn't even know that was there, to be honest.
Yeah, you didn't. Like, but you also shouldn't assume that it's there because the kill just accepted her death. Yeah, that it didn't spot you though.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's also good that you shove in the wave here to get the tower. Definitely good. Super free here, and the Lux might not be able to do it on her own. And then here I also wrote down, definitely place your W quicker. Like, place your W a short second before the heart is about to be like active, right? Just takes you a bit too long here. But the Lux hits a nice Q, and so she can't even do anything. But still, like, in general, in this matchup, just place the W when she uses W on you. Like, at some point before it goes active, I guess. And then you see, like, here at this point, you're still missing the green smite. So, like, that just sucks. Because it will give you the shield, it will give you the stronger smite as well. So it's like... And you could have just done this camp, like you could have just invested 10 seconds 2 minutes ago and you would have already had it, you know?
Yeah.
And you get the kill, nice. Now you finally got the upgrade as well. Like, how much is it at this point actually, the shield? 190, it's not nothing, that's 10% of your HP basically. So this is like a 10% HP increase that you were just missing out the whole time. Because you're a little bit lazy with your jungle clearing. And at least you got stuff done, but every time you get this kind of stuff done, it's just a little bit of a coin flip. And again, we saw like this ward, it shouldn't have even been possible. It was only possible because the people in this game were just really bad. Yeah, now the game's definitely in your control. I mean, you're really fat here, you're starting to get the objectives as well. And you're also 5k gold ahead as a team. And this guy goes for another steal without ult. What a savage. Yeah, how long was the ult cooldown even? 10 seconds, I mean that's kind of unlucky for her.
Yeah.
And you're right, like, let's see, should you have been able to dodge this?
I think so.
Probably. I mean, you didn't proc passive, sadly, so you didn't have the movement speed. Definitely, if you had proc passive here, you could have 100% run him down. Again, like, also your W was just a tiny bit too late, right? Like, now is where you need to place it here. Like, right now. And you just place it, like, in 2 seconds, which is, like, at least you do place it at all. So there's some Ekko players that wouldn't place it at all, but this is what I mean, right? It just rough around the edges, could just be a little bit quicker, all of it. And like some of it is for sure some part of why you're a little bit too slow with your abilities is because you're playing with this thing here, right? With the indicators. It will just be quicker when the abilities come out right away, automatically. Yeah, like here for example, you really just didn't care about his E at all, right? You didn't even try to sidestep it.
Yeah.
So if you had maybe tried to bait it out a little bit, then you could have maybe even killed him as well here. I mean, and at this point, by the way, you need to be aware of the fact that you are able to one-shot people. Like, you're able to one-shot every single person in this team other than Camille and Seth. So, like, yeah. if some of them walk up to you, just, like, kill them. Like, punish that. Be aware of the Seraph E, of course. Like, be sure you don't get hit by that. If you get hit by it, especially in long range, it stuns for, like, 2.25 seconds. But, like, if you don't get hit by any of that, you will just kill them, do, like, a quick rocket ball combo and ult out. And like that's how you have impact in the late game, and that's like a big part, I guess, that's definitely missing from your gameplay as well here, which we will see at some point. Like, see, like you still keep getting kills up until here, and then there's a long gap where you really didn't get much done, you know, yeah. where you 100% could have gotten more done. Yeah, and then here they think that they can do that, like, lol. I think this Q was actually a little bit too early. If they're not stupid, they just stop attacking now and then you can't burst it down. But they are, thankfully, they are really stupid and they just keep attacking. So now your passive is still on here and you just steal it, of course. I wouldn't even say that's Eve's fault, honestly. Like, the call was not good, but that is definitely not Eve's fault.
The thing is, I can see that Baron call working if if I would have recalled, but I never recalled. I just went for my blue buff.
Yeah. But even then, like, with the portals especially, you're so quick to get there, it's like... It's always a really risky call at this point. I mean, they do it decently quickly, because every team does it very quickly nowadays, but still... It's just not a... It's just a very desperate call, I guess. And especially with their team, how their team is built around scaling, I think it's just a very wrong call. Like, they should just chill more and try to get the KL to level 16, because, I mean, in the end, you were somewhat losing, even after the level 16 power spike and whatever. Yeah, tiny bit awkward. You actually had E up, though, I think. I don't think you had to flash.
Well, I used E to close the distance to the wall.
No, you used Rocket Belt, I think.
Oh.
See? Yeah, you still had E up here. So you just wasted your 5-minute cooldown. It's definitely not optimal. I mean, the flash, of course, at least it has no animation, but you wouldn't have died here even with E.
Actually, so what happened was I tried to Rocket Belt and E at the same, like, and buffer the E right after. But it didn't, like, the E didn't come, so I kind of panicked and flashed.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. This guy just runs into you, donates your kill. Eve also in one tappable range here, so, like, now you also have the 25 Magi stacks. You have, like, 3,000 gold. And even this guy doesn't kill you for it. Like, how dumb is this guy? What the fuck? You're standing there with a fucking 500 gold shutdown next to him, and he keeps attacking the full HP Lux. Nice. That's interesting decision making. I mean, he literally didn't manage to auto attack you. He kept auto attacking the Lux. Like, there were like 3 auto attacks she should have just done on you. So yeah, I think that was also actually... See, yeah, another one of those where it was a mistake to even go on her here because you should have died, you know? But you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
And this kind of stuff, it definitely happened a lot this game, so that's why you were able to get so fat. But I just want... that's why I'm also here for you, Red, to just point you out that this was still not the correct play, even though it worked out. You should have 100% given your 1000 gold shutdown, and then it's not nearly looking as good. I mean, you're still 10k gold there, you still probably win this game, but the kill would have been much more enabled. The fucking pings from them. They're just spam pinging the Eve, and she's spam pinging everyone back.
Steals are so free on this champ.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that...
Yeah, it's because... Yeah, because you followed her and your mouse was like still in the wrong spot basically, right? Like that just happens sometimes when you're too quick with the way you throw out your abilities. I think like generally again you just reacted a little bit wrong here though. The first reaction should always be to throw the Q at her. It should never be to E. Like you should never start fights with E in situations where you're already in range. Like here you're already in range. First thing Q, W somewhere here probably. And then E, like, and even hold your E in case she flashes, right? Like here, you timed it in a way where you followed her, but that's not like something you can consistently rely on. Like most of the time, it would have been just better to E over the wall and then follow her, you know. So this was just a little bit lucky, that the fact that you followed her here.
Definitely lucky.
And then here you probably could have ended, honestly. Like with this wave that's here, yeah, I think here you were a little bit mad at the Yorick. Like this is where you can just go for these impact plays, right? I mean, you don't have the Rocket Belt, so it's more difficult to get quick combos off now. But like, just place your W here, and like they might not even respect it. Then you literally get a free kill, and if they do, then you can just get tower damage or whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess the Yorick should have definitely stayed with you though. I mean, you do place your W here actually. Yeah, and you do get the stun off as well. But you auto-attack or you eat on the tower. So if you're just a little bit cleaner here and attack the Kel, you probably one-shot her at this point, you're so fat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just one-shot her.
I don't have my target champions only bound to the right button on this account.
Ah, okay. There's a document in your, like in the league folder or whatever, that you can just... You can enable like read only or whatever, and then it will always have the same settings for every account.
Oh.
It's like persistent settings or something. Just Google it. It's not difficult at all. Yeah, it's definitely useful. I have like 20 accounts. Like I would just want to go next IRL if I didn't have that. Yeah, definitely just go on the Kale here next time, and then you can end the game. I'm pretty sure, right? Like there was just like a little bit sloppy, the fact that your E went on the tower. I guess it was because of that, right? But Yeah, even now that you wasted your E, I think you could have still queued the Kale auto attack, and then the return Q would have at least gotten her really low. You just basically gave up on her here, or gave up on punishing. And now the Eve is coming up again. You don't really have a wave. You have your rocket build up in a second though, so like this is where you can just start looking for more again. And of course you don't have your ult. Like again, yeah, just place your W here. I think that's what you're doing. And like just E the tower. Like this tower is dead if you just E it. Yeah, she managed to ult before, so yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, I guess. Yeah, probably should have backed off for the second round here. Like the game should have ended now, but it went on for almost another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But this is such a common occurrence in this elo. It really is. There's also a bunch of mistakes you did later on that I also wrote down, so at least something to learn from it. Like, I would just place a W here and see if she respects. She might just not respect, and then if she doesn't respect, you just kill her.
Right.
And just go fishing with your Ws in the late game. In the late game, it's not that long of a cooldown. It's not like 20 seconds. It's in the late game, it's even like just 10 seconds, and it's still a really powerful spell, right? So just placing it to see if people respect, or just zoning them away with it, it's so good. Like that's a really big strength of Ekko. I wouldn't even use my E. Like, why are you using your E? Like, are you too lazy to walk around here? It really didn't get you anything, and it just made it so you couldn't engage on the Seraph, you know? Like, if you just walk around here and this guy does something stupid, you can just engage on him, but now you just won't have that E for a couple of seconds. The E is a very short cooldown spell, but it's not one you should waste. Like, you can definitely waste it and get punished really hard for it. Like, either missing out on kills or just dying, of course. And here, I mean, Camille beats you in these kind of fights. She just does. You actually, I mean, that was pretty nice, I guess. But I feel like if she's better, she should just kill you there. She still has Ignite, and I feel like she didn't use her auto attack resets correctly. Let's see.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she didn't. She fucked up her true damage auto attack actually. And also, yeah, she didn't ignite you. I think. Yeah, and I feel like she could have even kept chasing, maybe with her E. I'm not sure. Although you're really quick, of course, with the Lich Bane and Magi's. Yeah. So maybe not. How much gold do you have? Yeah, now just clear your jungle. There's really nothing else to do. I mean, yeah, here, I guess I told you in game now also, right? Just keep clearing your jungle. The Nash is spawning in like 50 seconds at this point. Just clear it, get closer to level 16, make it respawn again. All this stuff, right? There's no reason not to clear it here. Like, really no reason, because you will be at the Nash quickly enough no matter what. First of all, you're Omega fast at this point. Second reason, you have the portals, and it's still like 50 seconds anyways, so there's really no reason at all. And also staying on the map here might allow you to maybe have some more impact if some people overstep or whatever.
Yeah.
And here, yeah, I also wrote down, like, buy the elixir here. Like, this fight should...
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, like, it should be the last fight. It wasn't, but it should be the last fight, this Nash fight, or, like, you getting the Nash here. So, like, just get as powerful as possible, and you have, like, exactly 600 like, gold for the 500 gold elixir, so definitely should have bought it here, in my opinion.
I didn't do it only because we didn't end off the last one.
It will also help you more with ending, of course. Yeah, I mean, this ult... I was also thinking, like, maybe you should just ult back now, but I think you really didn't have to. And it especially sucked a little bit because you ulted right before hitting level 16, so, like, the cooldown would have went, like, so much lower if you just held it. And, of course, the Eve just ulted out, so there's no way she can steal this anyways. So this was definitely...
I was just kind of thinking that I wouldn't need it for anything. But
it just disables you for 40 seconds, right? Like this is where you just have a much harder time having an impact now for the next 40 seconds. And the next 40 seconds they do matter, right? Like how long does Nash last? I don't know.
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Really? Does it really last? What the fuck am I looking at? Huh? Nash buff duration increased to 4 minutes from... Nah, that can't be right.
No, it's definitely 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. So, yeah. So like even just wasting 40 seconds of those 3 minutes is not nothing at all, right? And like your team kind of wants to push you, and you just don't have ult. I mean, maybe they should take resets anyways because this guy's so low, but yeah, I don't know. Also, now that I'm looking at these items, I definitely have to say you also didn't press tab enough in game. But that's also something that I have literally said in every single coaching session, where people just don't press tab enough. But this is what I mean. For example, how you reacted here was definitely good, right? It was definitely good. The fact that you used your rocket belt to auto attack reset and whatever. So I can see that like most of the basics are there. Just all of it just could be a little bit cleaner, I guess. Oh, that was definitely good. Also that you didn't die to her here or anything. Like, you could have easily died. This guy's not weak with the Rabadons completed. And yeah, but here was like it could have been impactful the fact that you didn't have ult. And then here like really don't recall and ult back. Like you're just wasting your ult again. So like at level 60 you can often do it, right? You can often just ult back, and it's not a big deal because it's only 30 seconds. But at the same time, like you have the red buff, you will heal up, and then also there was like I even wanted to say this to you in game. Just take the plant here next time, you know. Like there's literally a plant there to heal you up a little bit, and then with the red buff you would have healed to full HP in not a long time. So like take advantage of this. Like this would have probably gotten you to over half HP, and then the rest would have been the red buff. Like at this point, red buff heals you for. Sadly we can't see it here, but it probably 40 or something per. No, not that much, but you can see it goes up decently quickly. Are you even out of combat yet? It's like now it really starts 20 per second, so. You really don't need to ult back here. Because, again, it just disables you from going for more aggressive plays. Because you have to fight without ult here. So, like, and here, I would just always place a W somewhere here. Place a W because you want to be able to push here, and if they don't respect, then you can just engage on them. And, like, trust me, in this elo, people don't respect the range you have with Ekko. Like, you even got it off here, right? Like, okay, you did actually place a W exactly where you needed to place it. Just, like, a second later than I would have place it, but like that's really nitpicking, I guess.
Yeah.
But although like one mistake here is you place it from vision again. You could always just place it from outside of vision. A nice thing you can do is just like right now, like when your W comes up, just click where you want to place it, and Ekko will place it as soon as he can. And max range is always out of like max range W is always out of the natural range of people. So if it's not warded or something, you will place it from outside of vision. And it wasn't warded here, so or like even just place it from behind the wall, right? There's no reason to not just place it from behind the wall. Then they will have a much shorter time reacting. Like in this elo, people still don't react to Ekko's W well, but in higher elo, people for sure do. So at some point, you just will notice that you're not hitting enough Ws anymore. Yeah, and then here you just don't have ult, so you die. And I mean, you were also CC'd for a long time, but. Yeah, and here the game definitely became sketchy, because at this point the 5k gold difference really doesn't matter anymore, and Eve is actually starting to stack up her mages a bit, and Kayle is of course over level 16, so yeah, definitely a very losable game at this point.
Would you have gone Banshee's Veil?
Nah, probably not. I mean, it's a very it's not a bad buy. I mean, it depends. If I feel like I'm dying a bunch of times, then maybe yeah. But I probably would have just went for Nashor's here personally as my last item, especially in the position you're in. Right, you're so strong. Like yeah, they're like okay. It depends on how hard I'm trying, I guess. Like I think the harder you try, the better it is to buy defensive items here, because we can see you can still one-shot people even with the Banshees, and like the defensive value is higher the more ahead you are, so like it's definitely good. But I think just for like a fun experience, I would have personally probably went for Nashor's here. Yeah, I think Banshee is definitely a pretty solid buy here. And here you really didn't have to flash away. Like you really didn't. If anything, just ult out, you know. But like don't flash away. Flash such a long cooldown. Like just ult out if you're really scared here, but you don't need to be that scared. Like, you already dodged the Camellia, I'm pretty sure. Like she already missed it. Yeah, she already missed her E. And like the heart still takes such a long time, so you really like, there's no danger for you. You really don't need to waste your flash here. And like the longer the game goes on, the more valuable flash becomes generally, right? It can be such a game-changing spell. Yeah, like see, like this fight, it was a little bit sketchy here. you're starting to lose these kind of fights. Yeah, shutdown. Yeah, you could have killed her. Like, just E on her here. E, you have like tons of movement speed, they can never punish you. This guy, okay, he might hit an E on you if he's like really fast, but like especially now where he's charging up, he can't even E, so like now is where you can just go in. And now she's 100% in kill range with the passive proc. So he was definitely too scared.
Like he would catch it.
Yeah, but like getting the kill here would have definitely been very impactful. Like, just taking a member of the map for 50 seconds or whatever in the late game, should definitely risk it. And it wasn't even that risky. And then here, like, I don't want to take all the credit, but I obviously told you, I think you can go for the backdoor here. Yeah. So I think just know that, right? Like, Ekko is so good at backdooring because it doesn't take him a long time. And especially with the naturals here, you would have literally taken it in a millisecond. And also just know that you don't really care that the Eve is here, right? They actually spot you quite early here. It's crazy that it still worked. What is this guy even doing, man? What does he think you're looking to do? Like, why is he letting you get away so much? Crazy. Yeah, always place the W, of course, have the shield. And then you can even use the rocket belt auto attack reset to get off another thing here.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, very nice though, the way this game ended.
For sure.
Alright, do you have any more questions?
No. Though I'm going to I think my main goals that I'm gonna work on is farming, keeping my jungle path like proper so I can farm more. Gonna use the same rune page every game. And just work on checking the map a lot more.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's definitely, I feel like that's your biggest thing actually for now. Just definitely look at lanes, like look at what's going on, get info. I think that's something I think I almost 90% of the coaching sessions I have, I feel like this is the biggest goal, but it really is so important as a jungler. And as a jungler, you have the time, yeah, right? There's so much downtime where you're literally playing PvE, so what else can you do? Like, why are you not getting all the info that you can get? Info is so important. Right. And then I think another big thing is just, like, in the late game, have a bit more balls. Like, go for more impact plays. Like, really, I know you might lose games every now and then, but it will also improve you as a player drastically if you just go for more of those plays. And it can, like, for example, that backdoor in the end was, like, a huge impact play, of course. It was not like a typical impact play. I think a typical impact play for Ekko is to just like get a nice pick in the late game, then you have the numbers advantage, you can get an objective or whatever. But like really just try to go for them and try to go for them in the way where you usually place a W somewhere where the enemies might walk and then see if they just don't respect the range. And like trust me, in your elo people don't respect the range nearly as much as they need to. Right. So I think that's definitely, and then also really turn off the indicators. It will improve your mechanics. Yeah, trust me. It will for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to make a habit of every single camp I look at least one lane.
That's good.
I'm going to see how that works for improvement, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's a good habit. And then also, of course, when you're walking out of base, always like when you're walking out of base, I think you should just check all the lanes really quick. It really doesn't take you a long time, and then you will notice like it's one of those things that it just becomes second nature at some point. It really is not something you need to think about doing or whatever. Yes, everything at first will be an effort you have to put in, but after some time, it just like most of this stuff becomes so easy.
Right.
So yeah.
The habit of it.
Yeah, exactly. But like as soon as something becomes a habit, it's easy, right? Like that's how everything in life works, and it's the same for League. So yeah, if you don't have any more questions, I guess I will stop the recording. Do you or no?
Okay. I think my last question is about more on when I should and should not use the Raptors path.
I mean, I'm using it every game. I think there's always the upside of the fact that you don't make your lanes leash, which is nice. You don't give the enemies any info at the same time by not making them leash, of course. And then I think I personally really like the altered gank timings that you have, especially in my elo. Although at this point, like people are actually used to the Raptors path for champs like Ekko and whatever, so it's not even that unexpected anymore. But it's still a good thing to do. And then also the early Dark Seal is of course really nice for Ekko, right? Like getting that snowball started and then being able to fight all these junglers in the early game. So I think especially combined with the rune setup, it's a very nice thing to do for Ekko. Like I do it every game. It probably is, like realistically, it probably isn't correct every single game, but I think most of the time, and also it's much harder to get invaded. Like really, so much harder to like successfully, I guess.
Wondering, when like do you ever take like invades, and if so, like when?
Yeah, when you see like the enemy jungle on the bot lane or whatever, and you have like you can kind of know when the enemy camps are spawning just by your own camps, right? Of course, if they do a different kind of pathing, like if they don't do Raptors pathing, it will be slightly different, but oftentimes, like the most invaded camp for me is 100% the Raptors camp. Like Raptors is a camp you can check so easily. You just go there, you see if they're up. If they're not up, cool. You wasted like 5 seconds, and then if they are up, they're also a camp you can really easily take. Right, it takes you a very short amount of time as Ekko. So I think most of the time I just go for that, and if I know, like sometimes I might go for that somewhat blindly, I guess. But most of the time I really just go for invades when I know that the enemy jungle isn't around, like when they just showed bot or whatever.
So alright, so you don't really usually look to kill them in their jungle?
Nah, like never. I think killing in the enemy jungle is just like, it might work, but it's like that's the biggest kind of coin flip you can consistently go for, I guess, because in the enemy jungle it means that the enemy laners will also be there first. Like they should be there first. So unless of course your like support is roaming with you or whatever, but I assume that most supports don't do that in your elo. So like if there's like support or mid that's roaming with you, then you can look to kill, of course. But I think on your own you should never look to really kill in the enemy jungle unless you see them moving in there with like 1 HP or whatever, and you're just tracking them. But that's like a very specific scenario that doesn't happen most games.
I was just like asking to make sure that's not something I should be working on, because
Nah, not really.
Ever.
I mean, it's maybe something that I should be working on, but it's definitely not something you should be working on in your elo at the moment. I think for you it's much more important to just farm your own jungle efficiently and like have impact on your laners. I don't think you need to bully the enemy jungle to win games.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got then.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna stop the recording.